New developments are now unfolding at a troubled city agency that's faced a flood of criticism since a video exposing gruesome euthanasia practices was released to the press.
And while it's been 6 months since we received that horrific video, tonight we're learning that problems at animal management and welfare are not over. Investigative reporter David Grasso-Ortega has been following this story closely since it broke this spring and has new details that set the scene of agency that isn't doing enough to halt animal cruelty. He joins us now. David?
Larry, Lisa, it's amazing that 6 months later we're still talking about animal control, or animal management and welfare as it's now called. And while there's little doubt that there's been some progress at the shelter, the officer who exposed the cruelty spoke exclusively to us about how she quit her job and left town because the changes at the shelter, in her words, have been merely cosmetic.
People are going to still frown upon the city and their lack of know-how as long as animals are being killed out there.
Nikki Nemi exposed the alleged cruelty at the animal shelter when she released this infamous video, and now she's resigned and left town. Nemi says she believes animals in Amarillo are still suffering cruelty. Her allegations are echoed by Brittany Hall, another former officer, and they both pin the blame squarely on the city and its leadership, saying they've prioritized protecting employees, covering up wrongdoing, and saving money over meaningful change.
I think the community needs to step up and ask for changes and demand changes, because if they don't have community pressure, the city will continue to funnel money into the downtown project rather than the shelter.
It's easier to murder an animal than it is to feed it for 5 days. And it's cheaper to do that than give it vet care. So they'll do whatever they can to save the city a dime, those taxpayer dollars.
Mayor Paul Harple and interim animal management director Scott McDonald acknowledged there's work to be done, but they believe they're moving in the right direction, and they've repeatedly mentioned giving plenty of funding to the agency.
I would encourage anybody that thinks there's problems or legal concerns to bring those forward to the city. It's an ongoing process. We're changing things dramatically from the ground up.
Any animal that we're aware of that's sick or injured, we'll get medical treatment for that animal as just quickly as possible, and to make sure that we do the right things to prosecute those people that are doing wrong.
But Hall and Nemi claim that the culture of convenience killing is still a reality, and they say officials turn a blind eye to cruelty when they're supposed to be in charge of documenting all the animal cruelty in the community.
This year, after we had new management come into the shelter, we received a case of severe animal cruelty, and upon investigating decided to press felony charges. When we brought it to the supervisor's attention, they advised us no, not to do it, and they released the animals back to the owners with no fines, no fees, no further actions taken against them.
In this exclusive video obtained by Pronews 7, it's alleged this dog with a broken back did not receive medical attention for over 4 days earlier this month.
I work there daily, 10 hours a day, and I don't see the improvements that they're talking about.
The media storm surrounding these allegations has caught the attention of city leaders. In anticipation of our report, the city released a 3-page press release outlining the progress at the shelter and claiming that the euthanasia rate has gone down and that more dogs have made it out of the shelter alive. But according to the third-party assessment of the shelter released last month, there is currently no way to accurately track data or trust previously reported actuals.
There is always a bit of a disconnect as you're trying to change a culture. There's always a difficulty because people are trying to do their job as they were taught it.
And many are frustrated by the perception of city bureaucracy that is slow to change. And here at Pronews 7, we will be verifying every single claim that was made in this press release that was released this afternoon. And we'll be updating you in the near future.
So I've heard that the Humane Society and Animal Management and Welfare are now operating as the same unit?
Absolutely. So the idea is that Animal Management, which is the former Animal Control, brings in the dogs. And then the Humane Society is in charge of adopting the dogs. And of course they have a slightly better reputation. So they're hoping that this will increase the adoption rate and lower the kill rate. But of course that was recommended by that third-party report. But that same report also pointed out that there's really no reliable statistics.
All right. Thank you very much, David.